Hey guys, it's DJ Cuppy here, and if it's not excellent, it's not me.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Chione,
And it's Rachel.
presenting for Bettering Education's Broadcasting Excellence Series. Today we're here with Florence Otadola, better known as DJ Cuppy, a Nigerian music producer and international DJ. So how are you doing today, Cuppy?
I'm good. It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Oh, thanks. So it's actually known that you actually founded the Red Velvet Music Group. Do you want to elaborate on that so people that are unaware of what it is?
Yeah, well, in 2013, I started my own music management company called Red Velvet Music Group. And I think I did this because I was finding it quite difficult. I think as young African talent in the UK, you know, I was a bit lost with my positioning. I think it was really difficult for me to sort of, I guess, find people that were interested in my talent. And you know, I got a lot of rejections from management companies, and you know, I couldn't even approach labels. So you know, they say if you can't beat them, be them. So I decided to start my own company, and now we've got an office in East London, and we're growing, and it's really exciting. I've got a great team, and we're constantly looking for talent. I think for me, a lot of people ask me, are you trying to create a label? I'm not really trying to create a traditional label. I'm definitely particularly into creating a platform for young talent, and maybe not just sort of artists, you know, the DJs, the behind the scenes people, the directors, the bloggers, and particularly being Nigerian myself, I think it's a great place for sort of talent that doesn't really know where to place themselves. If not sort of join, then at least get some advice and feel at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I also want to congratulate you on your series, Cuppy Takes Africa.
Oh,
So it's airing.
thank you.
I see you actually doing like really big things. I just want to congratulate you on that one.
Thank
It's really
you.
good. Is there any projects that you're currently doing, like that you haven't like really announced?
Yeah, I mean, so Cuppy Takes Africa, which is great. Tour I went on last year, now a show on Fox. I definitely have plans to, you know, go out on tour again. I mean, being in Nigeria, and I think it's back home, it's very easy to sort of think, because Nigeria creates a lot of creative content. You know, a lot of times we think everything is about us. So going around Africa, I was just wowed and amazed at the amount of diversity and talent we have out there. So, you know, I would love to go out there again, go to different countries. I think whether or not you're even from Africa, from the continent, I would encourage people to go and discover Africa. It's so amazing. You know, places like South Africa, Tanzania, Senegal, you know, these are places that I think a lot of people neglect, and they're amazing tourist destinations. So I would love to do that again. So definitely a season 2 of Cuppy Takes Africa. I also have a couple of other projects I can't really talk much about because they're in the works, but I do want to diversify. I think, you know, grow as a DJ, do bigger, better gigs, you know, sort of travel around the world, but also grow as an entrepreneur. You know, I want to go into projects that put me behind the scenes, you know, maybe put me in producer and writer roles. You know, I would love to also work with other DJs, other producers. I haven't put music out in about a year, which is a long time. And that's just because I'm such a perfectionist. And I think moving to London, I found it really difficult to actually find direction. It's amazing. A lot of like young people say to me, they're like, oh my God, Cuppy, you have it all figured out. But I really don't. You know, which is why I just haven't rushed into putting out music. It's so hard because I find that I'm sort of a hybrid between London and Lagos, and it's so difficult to find a position really, because I've come here and I just love the vibe, and you know, music is always growing, it's always changing. So you know, I've sort of taken time to sort of settle and figure out what I want to do, and I think definitely there'll be some music from me next year.
Nice.
Do you prefer Lagos or London?
People always ask me that. That's so tough. I mean, Lagos is home, but I love London.
Yeah.
Most probably will. London will always have a place in my heart. You know, I just think I mean, I love Lagos, but I think London is one of the best cities in the world. There's just something about it.
Yeah. So, Cuppy, how confident are you?
On like a scale.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think I'm pretty confident as a person, but I definitely have my insecurities. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, seeing as you are Nigerian, we would like you to do your best Nigerian accent. Just as a little icebreaker.
All right. What would you like me to say?
Anything.
Anything, literally.
Like in English or like
English, yeah.
like broken English.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna imitate my mom when she's coming. She'll be like, Ife Oluwa, your food is getting cold now.
And actually really good, but in mine.
Just in general.
Okay.
So, when it's all said and done, what do you actually want to be remembered for?
That's a really good question. I don't know. Because I think I'm still writing my story. I don't really know what I want to be remembered for. I think whatever it is, I want to be known as someone that changed the rules and made a difference. Whether that comes from the DJing or other things I get myself involved in.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, with DJ Cuppy, because it's a unique name, where did it actually stem from? So.
Oh yeah, well, my name comes from cupcakes, which is quite funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like anyone that knows me, they'll see like in my flat or just around, I always have some sort of cupcake embedded in my family. So I was obsessed with cupcakes and I used to eat them a lot.
And guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I started eating them so much. I started looking like a cupcake, like my like that. So so my friends started calling me Cupcake, and then I remember when I was 16, and there's that moment where you've got to pick a DJ name. And my friends just started joking, oh, DJ Cupcake, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually really like that name. But then from DJ Cupcake, people started calling me Cuppy, Cups, Capito, all these things, and then now I'm just Cuppy.
Yeah, it's a nice name.
Yeah, it is a nice name. It's unique. Yeah.
So when did your passion for DJing really start?
My passion was always there. So I grew up in Lagos, and Lagos is one of the most, I think, creative hubs in the world. It's amazing. People have, especially growing up, Nigeria wasn't, I think, as well, it was always sort of booming, but things were a lot different. And people make so much out of so little, which is what I love. So I remember like going to school, like it was amazing. We used to learn through songs, and it was just so creative. And I remember when I was growing up, my parents always used to just sort of make us do different things, whether it was art or piano lessons. Creativity was a huge part of my upbringing. So I always loved music. I have to admit, I did sort of go into rapping. Yeah, I mean, when I was 17 or something, me and my best friend Cheta, we made an album. It's such a joke. But
can you freestyle?
Oh my gosh, I'm
freestyle now.
Yeah, freestyle.
I'm so bad. Like, I'm awful. I can't even
Do you want
think
me to
of
do a
it.
beat?
Huh?
Do you want me to do a beat?
Yeah, okay, let's try
Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay.
So anyway, from sort of trying out, I played the viola, I played the guitar, I loved to sing, I loved everything,
creative,
so creative. And then DJing. So I remember when I was doing my GCSEs / A-levels, I fell in love with London nightlife. As a lot of young people do, but mine was just more sort of like as, I guess, an escape from school. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
From schoolwork, because I worked really hard in school. I was always very academic. And music is so powerful. It's like a healer. And I remember feeling really homesick from Nigeria, so I used to listen to Nigerian music.
Yeah.
It would make me feel better. So music was part of that whole experience. So when it was my birthday, my parents asked me what I wanted, and I wanted decks. So they got me some second-hand little decks, and that was when I think YouTube had just started popping, and I basically would just sit at home all night watching videos, like learning
tutorials.
Yeah, just
So it's like self-taught.
Obsessing over, seeing all these guys DJ, and I always just think, why are they always guys? I just didn't understand. and I was a bit rebellious back then, so that made me even want to learn even more. So I then just sort of taught myself, and I guess the rest is history. One thing I have to say though is I've never been afraid to get help. So I've never been afraid to ask people. So I would go out and literally sit down and stare at the DJ for like 6 hours. I mean, they used to think I was talking about, yeah, oh, please, like, can you give me lessons, or can I shadow you? So I moved around. I started hanging out with different DJs. I would just stand there and watch. And then, I mean, I don't remember when my first gig, well, I remember some of my, I didn't really have a first gig because I used to play at friends' parties. But in Nigeria, I was so lucky. My first gig, basically the DJ was stuck in traffic, and I had been like shadowing him for so long, and lucky me, like the club owner was like, oh, just play something. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I was awful, but still that was an opportunity. So I always say to people, you've got to stay ready, you know, opportunity.
Grasp your moment.
Yeah, opportunity meets preparation.
Yeah. So what's been the hardest part of your journey so far?
The hardest part, I think disappointment. I think that's for most people. It's not really the disappointment itself. It's the burden it puts on your motivation. So I've had expectations. I've wanted so many things to happen. It's amazing. Like people say to me like, "Oh my God, you're doing so well." All I can think is, do you know how not well? Well, all I can think is how much better I could be doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's only what people see.
Yeah, that's true.
And 99, I mean, okay, for every like 10 opportunities I get, you know, maybe, I don't know, 3 come through. Or every expectation I sort of have for myself, you know, I only really achieve less than half of them. And that's really hard because sometimes you kind of get frustrated. You know, like I said, even with putting music out, you know, I've made so much music. I could probably drop an album tomorrow, but it's not the kind of music that I necessarily want to bring out. Or, you know, there's shelf life to these things. Records I made a year ago may not work anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that constant putting in, but not always getting out. But that's why, you know, you do things for passion, because that's the only thing that can keep you there. If I wasn't passionate about what I did, I would quit so quickly, because it is challenging sometimes. And I think also, you know, being a young African woman, trying to do really exciting things, you know, sometimes it's frustrating. You know, sometimes doors don't open, and it's not based on your skill or based on your ability. They just don't open. You know, maybe right place, wrong time, or wrong time, right place. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever thought to yourself like, this isn't for me, I want to quit? Or
that's so interesting. I actually never have, and that you know, that in itself actually is making me feel even. Yeah, I love what I do so much. So, you know, I have thought and I have decided. Okay, you know, especially with DJing now, there's so many ways to go about it. Forget even DJing, just sort of music. And I have had to let go of some of the things I want to do, because I, you know, and my team will say this, I want to do everything, but sometimes you can't. So I've decided, and I've learned to not position myself relative to others, to just be my own lane. You know, I've tried to do so many things, and, you know, sometimes you just end up doing 100 things that are average. So I've learned to just focus on what I want to focus on. And I'm also trying to learn to give myself breaks.
And you said that obviously you had like setbacks and stuff like that when they say no. How did you actually overcome it? Was it like music? Did you lean on music to kind of overcome like the no's and stuff like that? Like
music, how so? Like,
as in, like, you know, like some people, like they, like if they're like depressed, or like say imagine like if they're going through certain stuff, or like they get setbacks and stuff like that, they kind of like lean on music, they listen to music to kind of inspire them.
Yeah, no. I mean,
so yeah.
No, I mean, music is very powerful. But of course, I mean, typical scenario. Okay, I made a record for a label, and labels are very particular, and they just decided they didn't want to release it. And this is after, you know, months and hard work and working on the record, working on the studio. I mean, not even the label, maybe the artist didn't want it. I don't know what happened. It fizzled out. So, I mean, I'm not going to run and listen to that song. But one thing that does help me is actually my religion. You know, I'm a Christian, and God is just constantly motivating me. I did this really cool course, the Alpha course, which is amazing, and now I have a prayer group. And sometimes for me, like, I need to step away from maybe being Cuppy and step away from, you know, putting myself in my typical environment, which is very high pressurized, you know. And I honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I am such a dramatic person. When things happen, I think it's the end of the world. Well, I used to. So, you know, I have like a meltdown, like, oh my God, this person doesn't want me for a gig, or this person doesn't want my song, this person doesn't want my brand, you know. But after a while, I think the older I'm getting, like, you just learn to let things go. Things are, you know, what will be, and it's phenomenal. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, when every time a door has shut, like 2 more doors have opened. It's the most amazing thing. And like, I've just learned to just lean on that.
As you said as well, obviously talking back onto Christianity, like, because you're a Christian, do you feel like there's like any restrictions in terms of like when you're DJing, in terms of like music? Do you feel like you have to restrict yourself in terms of like music and like the image you're trying to portray?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It is a bit difficult actually, because especially I think music nowadays, it is very, very secular, and you know, it's very graphic.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very sexist as well, which I don't even like more than anything. But you know, I am a DJ. You know, I am in a service-based sort of business. It's my job to make my clients happy. You know, I've always sort of just done that, but I've never sort of put myself in a compromising position. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of do. I go with my intuition.
Yeah.
Some things feel right, some things don't. You know, I just take it from there. But if I was holding my breath and sort of not sort of playing certain records, I mean, it would be really difficult. I think as a DJ, we're really supposed to be able to play anything, as long as the output is really positive, i.e., hey, if people like to listen to ratchet music and it makes them happy, then it makes them happy. Yeah, it makes them happy. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But I've done some cool stuff. Like, I've done a DJ set at a church before.
Really?
So I've just DJ'd like Christian music. It was really cool. And like, church people really know how to move.
Was
so
it like
it was good
gospel
vibes.
type music?
Yeah. It was really cool. It was fun.
Cool. Yeah, I know, from church as well, yeah.